Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Sherri.
Hey, Tammy. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Good. You're looking pretty.
Thank you. I put on a little makeup since I was wearing a hoodie and stretch pants.
Stretch pants are the best.
They are, especially on a Saturday.
Yes. Yes. I just wish I could get away with no bra. That would just be horrible for everyone around me if I did that. So
Yeah. I do that as much as I can, but I had to leave the house.
yeah. If you
Gravity.
Yeah.
It's a bitch.
Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. Anything new?
This, that, and the other. I mean, I did the big political libertarian party thing recently, and hey, everybody, and
Thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all enjoy the koozies.
yeah, since we were one of the highlights of the swag bag.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so y'all go to Patreon if you want to support the show, patreon.com/grits. We are on YouTube. We are on TikTok. We are on Facebook. We're on all of that. And whenever you're ready to start, tell me a story.
Okay, so this story is a little more recent than what I normally tell.
Okay.
Yeah, because I like things to be adjudicated. I like to know what's going
I
on.
do too. Is this unsolved? Please tell me.
This one's totally solved.
Okay, good.
Totally
Good,
solved.
good,
There was never a question.
good.
Okay. And this happened in 2016, which for most of us, that was about the worst year ever.
Why? What happened?
Well, Harambe died in May, and ever since then, the entire world has been just in chaos.
Dicks out for Harambe.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just something we said at our house or if like the whole world was saying that.
I don't know, but I didn't know you then, and we were saying that at our house.
You were?
So-
Okay.
So either we were synced up somehow, or
Zach is camera switching for us. Just a little side note. Thank you, Zachary. He's laughing at me with the dicks out for Harambe. So
so we had Harambe died. We had in Baton Rouge that horrible police shooting, and there were a lot of others around the country.
That was terrible.
Then we had the Great Flood.
I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah,
About the Great Flood. Yeah.
Where my city became a tent city for
Yes.
6 months.
God.
Everybody lived in tents and were repairing their homes, and
It was bad.
it was bad. It was a really rough year.
Yeah.
Trump got elected at the end of that, which
Okay.
kind of really helped our state, but
Yeah.
the rest of the country still went into more chaos.
Yeah.
Right. Literally since that May, I don't think we've had a calm month
No,
in this country.
we're just, I don't know.
Yeah. We all went a little crazy.
Someone sent me a story the other day about a guy, this was in Baton Rouge, had sexually assaulted his girlfriend with a lit blowtorch.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah. And I'm like, people are just fucking insane. They're insane. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
And this is where the world has come to at this point. We've just gone crazy. But this story kind of happened in the middle of the crazy. And for us, our state, we pretty much missed it because of everything that was going on. So the story happens in June. But
We were distracted by a flood.
Yeah, we were distracted by a flood and a couple of people-caused disasters nearby.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go in the Wayback Machine to kind of understand what happened. We're going to go back to June 25th, 75. Little Wayne's World action. Okay. Jason Vukovich. He was born to a single mother in Anchorage, Alaska. And I mean, a lot of times when we tell an Alaskan story, we're kind of thinking rural stuff like that. But Anchorage has 40% of the whole state is in one
Population,
city.
yeah.
So it's 250,000 people.
I would imagine they're pretty modernized there.
Yeah.
Everything that we would have anywhere else.
Yeah. I mean, you'd still have the weird weather patterns and the, several months of daylight and the several months of dark. But other than that, it's pretty much like growing up anywhere else. But, like I said, it was 75. And his mom, this is in the 70s. This is kind of the beginning of women's liberation actually giving us anything.
Right.
So she was a single mother. Life could not have been easy because it was hard.
Yes.
I mean, even now there's a wage gap. Back then, the wage gap was huge.
Yes.
Because ladies' jobs were meant.
Well, they were also still trying to get women to stay home after they had a baby, not come back to work.
Not come back to work,
Yeah.
right. And so anyhow, along comes Larry Lee Fulton, and he marries Jason's mom and adopts him, and I'm pretty sure his brother too, because both Jason and Joel have the same last name, and it's not Fulton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so he's got a little brother named Joel.
Okay.
He was a hardworking, good Christian man, and they went to church several times a week. And
Larry Lee was?
Yeah, Larry Lee.
Okay.
Life should be golden, right? Larry disciplines a little heavily, though.
Okay.
Beats him with wood, whips, cords.
That's how it was.
That's kind of how it was.
Unfortunately, for our younger listeners, that's how
what the
it
70s
was.
look like.
The 70s, go fuck yourself.
But then late night prayer time changed. Larry Lee started coming into Jason and Joel's room and molesting them. Yeah. And
so gross.
Yeah. And Jason would put his brother closest to the wall on the bed.
So he would get the least of the...
So to get the least.
Yeah.
Yeah, most nights Larry would be over it.
And what was her mom's name? Did you say it?
They never
You couldn't
said
find
it
that.
in
Okay.
and I probably read 70 articles.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if they're saying it because they don't want her famous, if she doesn't want to be part of it. I don't know. I know they have a little sister who is, out in the world, the people.
Was she also?
I don't know. She
Don't
has
know.
not said.
Okay. All right.
Okay. I'd love to tell you that Larry is now dead, but I couldn't find an obituary. And frankly, there's so many Larry Lee Fultons.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
found 75 different Larry Lee Fulton obituaries from different states, and one of them could have been him, but
Don't know.
don't know. But in 1989, Larry was charged with second-degree abuse and
Okay.
molestation of a minor.
Well, that only took almost 15 years, right?
About 10 years, because he was 4
Okay.
whenever, and so
All right.
75 to 79. 79, he got adopted.
I gotcha.
And I don't think...
I was going all the way back to 75. Yeah, that's when he was born.
I
Gotcha.
don't think that this started early.
Gotcha.
I think this is something that started later on, because that's kind of the way the story gets told. Now, it's been told and retold and retold and retold
Okay.
over the last 8 years. But this is... and I'm going to out this person. Superior Court Judge Carl Johnstone gave this man a suspended sentence.
Wow.
Yeah. Beating and raping a couple of boys
It's terrible.
got him a suspended sentence, and he went back into the house.
Mm-mm.
Yep. And no one followed up in the family. With the
Wow.
family, no DCFS, no cops, nobody.
Wow.
Okay, so Jason and Joel both ran away whenever Jason hit 16. So sometimes in 1991.
Can't blame him.
Mm-mm. And, 16, you can get by. Not well, but you can get by.
Right.
And they made their way down to the Pacific Northwest, and I do not know what happened to Joel. I know that Joel...
That is a long journey.
Yeah.
For 2 little kids.
I know that Joel has a much more normal life now than Jason, but I don't know what route it took, because he was only like 13, 14 years old whenever he took off.
Yeah.
And so Jason, being 16 in another state, without papers, without an ID, without anything like that, started making his living just stealing anything he could.
Makes sense.
Yeah. You're 16 and you're living on the streets.
Yeah. You got nothing.
And it's not like here. If you are living on the streets here, the weather won't kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But
Pacific Northwest, yes,
it'll
it
kill
will.
you. It'll
Yes.
kill you. Gosh,
Yes.
it'll kill you living inside sometimes.
Yeah.
So, you had to find a bed. You had to find food. Here, you just got to worry about eating.
Yeah.
And
And mosquitoes.
mosquitoes. And half the year, any little strip of woods is filled with food. We've got muscadines, blackberries,
Yeah.
everything growing wild. So
Right.
you can at least get some nourishment without even being good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much that set up the next several years, like decades of Jason's life.
Wow.
In and out of jail for petty stuff,
Yeah.
shoplifting, stealing, drugs.
And he's still taking care of his brother during this time?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they separated
Okay.
early on.
Gotcha.
And their lives look like they took different paths. But Joel's running a search on Joel just brings up Jason's stories where he's mentioned in.
Okay.
So I don't really know what Joel is doing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Jason says himself, he says he became a thief and a liar and had no value on his own existence.
Yeah. Like, that's
Unfortunately,
sad.
when your parents treat you like that,
Yes.
that's where it puts you.
So sad.
And so in 2008, he made his way back to Alaska and continued living like that, petty crimes. The worst crime I found for him, like the biggest victim was there was an ex-wife that charged him with assault. He says he didn't do it. She said he did. I don't know.
Well, he doesn't exactly have a good track record at this point, so.
Right. But most of his crimes, which there were some felonies in there.
But most of his were nonviolent.
Nonviolent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the one that kind of sticks out as an outlier for everything else.
Yeah.
Until
Okay.
we get a little further
Until the
down.
real shit.
Until the real shit. Which, fortunately was fast. All took place over a few days.
Wow.
Okay. So, but I did want to put that there was one other violent on his record, and he does deny it. I don't know which way that goes.
Yeah, what really happened?
I've seen both.
Yeah.
All right. So in 2016, Jason found out about the sex offender registry.
Did he Google that shit to see if his stepdad was on there, Larry Lee?
No, but he did go on there and he made himself a list.
Oh, I'm going to be cheering for the bad guy in this one.
The registry included the name, the current address, and the crime, and I think time served.
Payback is a bitch.
And also a picture.
All right. Well, I mean, they have to, yeah.
Yeah. I know that here our crime registry does include a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Their last booking photo, they'll list tattoos and everything.
Yep.
Because, I had a lot of bebés.
Yeah.
I kept an eye on every perv within 100 miles.
Well, also, you can have a beard one day. You can be bald one day. You can, you can change your... So, yeah, it's good to have the tattoos.
Right.
And
and if you get arrested at, say, 30 and spend 7 years in jail, your booking photo's not doing me any good.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, that 37, 38-year-old looks a lot different.
Especially living those years in jail.
Oh, yeah. So on June 25th, 2016, and I don't know why nobody ever talked about this, but June 25th is his birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
So it was his 41st birthday present to himself. Jason goes to the home of Charles Albee. Charles was on the registry for second-degree sexual abuse of a minor, so same thing. Jason goes to his home, breaks in, slaps him around, tells him he knew what he did, and he was going to be keeping an eye on him, robs the guy, and leaves.
So at this point, he's just, in and out, kind of. I'm expecting him to go in and just stab these fuckers or shoot these fuckers right off the bat.
No.
All right.
Yeah. So, and then 2 days later, he kind of felt like that felt good. So he goes into the home, and I don't know if this is going to be Andre or Andres.
Okay.
Because it's Andre with an S on the end.
Okay.
Barbosa. This is a kiddie porn guy who had also kidnapped a kid.
That's terrible.
Yeah. And so Jason showed up to this one with accomplices.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he hands the girl a camera and says, film this.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So I'm loving him. I'm trying not to,
I
but I'm
know,
loving him.
But I'm also like Stupid Criminals 101. You do not need to record or take photos of what you're doing with your crimes.
Yeah, yeah. But I still like the fact that in his humiliation,
Yeah.
it got documented the way he did those kids.
So what did he, do you know what he did to this guy?
Not a lot. He threatened him. He yelled at him. He had a hammer. He punched him a couple of times. Stole some stuff from his house and stole his car and left.
All right.
Okay.
I wonder if you're on the sex registry, if you call the cops and say somebody just came in and like fucked with me and stole my car, or would you just be like, oh, well,
they did.
He called?
They called. Yeah. So
did the police actually come out?
Police came out. There's reports of this assault and burglary, because even if it's just a slap around or a punch, because the story is he only punched him once in the face.
Okay.
Of course, this guy's got prison muscle.
Yeah.
So that punch was significant, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see it, because there's a special place in hell for people that treat kids like that.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and just 2 more nights. He takes a break for 2 more nights, and on the 29th, he goes over to this Demarest guy's house. This guy was convicted of attempted sexual abuse of a minor in 2006.
Attempted?
He had molested a kindergartner.
Oh, my God.
He only got 9 months in jail.
Wow. And we wonder why people keep doing these things.
Mm-hmm. And so he wakes up with the roommate was knocking on this guy's door saying, hey, somebody's breaking in the house. So Jason breaks in. He goes in. And he's telling this guy to sit down, and he won't sit down. Demarest was actually over 6 feet tall, so he was ready to fight back.
Yeah, he's like, let's go.
So Jason cracks him in the skull with a hammer.
Not mad at it.
Not mad at him, even though
I'm terrible.
And I was waiting for myself to cringe, because I told you that is my fear way of getting attacked.
You have said that. A hammer. Yeah.
And I'm like, nah.
No, feeling okay.
Feeling okay. And, so he fractured Demarest's skull.
Believe it.
And he told Demarest, I am an avenging angel. I'm going to mete out justice for the people you hurt. Stole, a few things and a laptop. Demarest passed out for a while, woke up in his own blood, and called the police.
All right.
And reported this. So Jason was caught real quickly. He was just parked on the side of the street a little ways down the road.
Wow.
He was sitting in his...
Again, stupid criminal.
I don't think he was looking to get away.
Oh, he just... Okay. I'm not even going to say what I was thinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I really think he was just kind of like... That was a lot bloodier than anything else he'd done. And as we've established, he's not an overly violent guy. I mean,
so that kind of turned him a little bit.
I think he had to recoup.
Yeah.
Because he's just sitting there in his car.
Yeah.
It's full of evidence. It's got all the stolen items stuff for the last 3 nights. It's got his bloody hammer.
Right.
And it's got a list with the 3 names crossed off on the list. So,
here, police, here's all your evidence.
So he was arrested for all sorts of burglary,
assault, breaking and entering, everything.
Yeah, everything. And the guy, that Demarest guy, the one who got his head caved in, he has a quote because he came out to the news seeking sympathy.
Oh, my gosh.
All I've been doing for 11 years has been regretting every moment of my crime, and not a day has gone by that I don't think about it. Mentally, I'm baffled, and this has pretty well destroyed my life, so he got what he wanted, I guess.
I mean, don't you think when you fucked with kids, that destroyed your life?
Don't you think that kindergarten girl...
Yes.
...is not 10 kinds of screwed up?
Yes.
She is going to constantly have to ask herself about every reaction with every partner she ever has. Is this me, or is this what happened to me?
Yeah.
This is the rest of her life, you whiny ass bitch.
Shut the fuck up.
And I know I don't normally cuss on but this.
I will cuss for you.
Thank you. Thank you. But
motherfucker. This ass wipe.
There you go. There you go. You got to pull some.
Like, dude, you got convicted of doing something terrible to a kindergartner and you're trying to be the victim now.
And we know.
Yeah.
We know. I mean, even I have done things I could have gotten arrested for in the past and gotten away with it. By the time somebody gets caught, they may have done it 100 times before they got caught.
Speeding, for example. Yeah. We're just going to leave it at speeding. Yes.
Speeding is very much it, my biggie right there.
Yes.
Granted, I get a little, this is where white privilege comes in. Because being a blonde, middle-aged woman.
You can just start crying whenever the cop pulls you over.
They just wave, go blip, blip, and I slow down, and that's it. My husband, who's a little more melanated.
Yes.
He gets pulled over if his seatbelt is not visible. He gets pulled over for everything.
He's of a darker olive complexion.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, I get that this guy probably did more and worse than what he got busted for.
Yeah.
And he's sitting here whining.
Yeah.
Granted, getting hit in the face with a hammer probably hurt like.
I mean, I don't feel bad for him.
No, I would have just kept going.
Yeah, I couldn't have stopped after one bash.
I would have been like, oh, that felt good.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jason ended up taking a plea deal.
All right.
He was sentenced to 23 years.
And these people who are molesting children get a suspended sentence or 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And he didn't even kill anyone. He got 23 years for hitting somebody with a hammer and stealing shit.
Yeah.
What am I saying right now?
I know. There are 4 pedophiles in this story.
Oh my gosh.
Right now.
Yeah.
At 8 years, he has spent more time in prison than those 4 men
Yes.
did.
Yes.
And one of my sources, but I only saw it once, so I don't want to put this as an exact quote. Whenever they were doing the kind of negotiations for the plea deal.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll plea, and you give me the same amount of time you gave them.
Yeah,
you give me the same thing that you gave these guys because I didn't hurt anybody as bad as they did.
No kidding.
He says, I'll even take the maximum time on those. Wow. I'll even take the 3 years that you suspended from this one and that one.
Yeah.
He served more time than all of those if they were
added together.
He has served more time
than
that 4 pedophiles.
And you can't tell me something's not wrong with our judicial system if that's...
Yeah.
And this is recent times.
Yeah. In my computer, this one is titled, We Gotta Do Better, Y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And we do. Okay. This is something weird has happened this year. He was granted parole the other day.
Jason?
Yeah, but they did something weird with it. They granted him parole. He went for the parole board, I think, on April 4th, but that may just be the date of the story that I read.
Okay.
Went to the parole board, and they said, parole granted. So his whole family who was watching this is like, yeah.
Good.
The other podcasters.
However, what?
In 5 years.
Wow.
Now, I have never seen discretionary delay, which is kind of what that's called.
Okay.
Be placed on a time frame like that.
I haven't ever seen a delay placed on a parole.
I have seen it placed on a parole, but it would be on an event, as in parole granted, delayed until completion of X course, or parole granted, delayed until.
But this was just 5 more years.
Just 5 more years.
We don't have a reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, God, that's why not? Why not just leave him in there and then in 5 years give him parole?
I know. And see, I think this actually, Now, most of my understanding of the justice system has to do with Louisiana, and Alaska is a whole different
and we are
critter.
a totally different ball game over here.
But I think they did this just to keep him in there for 5 more years because there was so much public outcry to letting him out that if they've already said parole's granted, but on this date.
Why? Oh, to kind of keep it under, like brush it under the rug, keep him safe, you mean? Like in 5 years, everybody's going to forget about the fact that he got paroled?
No, they don't want him to be paroled. The public wants him to be paroled.
Yes.
And by setting it this way, it binds it. So he can't be back next year and the next year. It's got to be 5 years. I think.
We don't have a big hoopla every year. I gotcha. Okay.
I think that's what it is. Because there is hoopla. And
yeah, there is a lot of hoopla, especially if it's somebody that people want out or want in. There's going to always be a lot of hoopla.
And people want him out. And there are places you can go to let your voice be heard. I think right now, and the deadline may have been passed, there was a new law that just hit effect where he could be like halfway housed and put on an ankle monitor. And his family was raising the funds. And there's a Facebook page, free Jason Vukovich.
All right.
That y'all could go to and kind of
spell his name in case anybody wants to go. Do you have the?
I do. Let me get page 1 here.
Okay.
VU, K as in kilo, O, V as in Victor, I, C as in Charlie, H as in Hilo.
Okay.
And so there is a Facebook page. It has had updates as recently as a month ago.
Y'all, go to his Facebook page and help him out, and maybe we can get him on the show when he gets out.
Oh, maybe so.
Wouldn't
well,
that be?
Alaska's quite a flight.
Yeah, but I mean, we have Patreon people to help us out. We could get him down here for
we might be
a
able
show.
To. And there are change.org petitions out there. There's a lot out there to try to help them, because I am sure most of you have actually seen this guy and didn't know it. There was a photo of the courtroom that had circulated about a man and brother hugging after brother is sentenced for attacking pedophiles. And so that one did surface a long time, but I didn't know the story until the other day.
So he was hugging his brother.
Yeah, Joel was in the courtroom. That's how I know that Joel's living a pretty decent life.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like a felon.
Well,
I mean, he could be.
But probably not.
But, Jason is in fact a felon. So
yes.
I do want to, he committed about a dozen felonies prior to this.
Yes, we're saying go help him, but
I do think that Jason has come to terms with some stuff, and he says it himself. He was like, I should have never done that. It was wrong. I have been treating my own self like I was crap, and therefore treating the world like it was crap. So this 8 years, he has done a lot of therapy.
So here's the thing. I have to put a little note in. Recently, I talked to someone who had been in jail for being a pedophile, and they're out now. And I told the person that I was talking to that they needed to get some therapy. And I said, didn't you get any in jail? And he laughed. He said, no, now this is Louisiana again, folks. And we have at least one place that I know of where we house a lot of people who are convicted of this type of behavior. He said that if you say that you want therapy, they will put you in solitary for weeks on end because there's something wrong with you and you don't get any therapy. So this is someone in the system. Okay. This is not, I heard this from someone. This is someone who is actually in the system. And I was shocked that they did not offer any type of counseling or therapy.
And that's a problem that Jason's been having. In prison. If you are truly a pedophile, they're giving them therapy, but nobody else can get it.
Well, the person that I'm speaking of was convicted of that, being a pedophile. and carnal knowledge, actually. And
see, I hate that.
yes, I was shocked. I couldn't believe, if I hadn't been talking to someone that I knew was in the system, I wouldn't have believed that if someone had just told me that. So,
well, and I think one of his problems may be what he was convicted of.
Yeah.
Carnal knowledge.
That's with the older, yes.
It's often a teenager.
Yes.
You know, it's often like a 19-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Right.
Something that does not hit this predatory level.
Exactly. You're hitting right on the money there. But this person was housed with
pedos.
Yes.
But a lot of pedos end up pleading down to things like carnal knowledge.
Yeah.
And so whenever you look on the registry, it doesn't look like all of these second-degree molestations. You've been diddling a kid for 10 years and they were a small child. There's nothing second degree about that molestation.
Right.
You adopted children to harm them.
Exactly.
There's nothing.
Exactly. Ugh.
Whatever they just bet on this, because some of these people I've been able to go look up their actual stories over the years. Some of the people on the registries.
Yeah.
Bet whatever they did, that's not what they got convicted of. Bet that it is way worse than what they got convicted of.
I agree with you.
And I mean, I have seen, like, if you find out somebody spent 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years in jail for hurting somebody, know that they really hurt them. It's the kind of thing you wish they'd stayed in forever. It's hideous. And, you know, I know things I had gotten involved in crime. I don't know if I ever told you Mama worked for Department of Corrections.
No.
Yeah. So I grew up with probation and parole officers in prison, prison guards. And I mean, like, I knew Burl Kane since I was a little bitty.
Good man.
Yeah. Very good man. A little tough, but a good man. And so I've been familiar with people trying to reform prisoners. Maybe not well, but this guy, Jason, says that he was in therapy for PTSD. But every week ahead of his appointment, he would go in and his number would be cleared. So his psychiatrist would have to go through and re-up him for therapy every single week.
Wow.
Which would eat into any appointment time they had. But I do believe he's done a lot of introspection. I don't think that he's going to get out of jail
and do the same thing. And I don't think he's going to do what he had habitually done ahead of time. Right.
Well, and now he's knocking on 50.
Yeah.
So that is a whole different animal.
We get older and tireder when we hit 50. That's for sure.
There's just not enough testosterone to keep us angry at 50.
No.
Yeah. And so anyhow, do go look into this case yourself. See where you believe.
Stand. Yeah. We're not here to call sides, you know. But I feel like in this case, I just feel like
I'm giving some money.
Are you?
Yeah.
Do it, girl. Yeah.
I'm going to do it because this is, you know, I don't care if he is 2 steps down from these men. He's still not that.
The simple fact that he is serving a longer amount of time than the 4 men in the story served together.
Even if you add their suspended sentence.
Yeah.
Several of them had suspended sentences.
That's horrific.
It's horrible. And we do this. I think sometimes our legal system doesn't want to believe that this is a thing.
What, pedophilia?
Yeah. Or that,
are you serious?
That nice guy that I know did this to his kids. Or
okay, I am watching this show on Max called The Outsider. It's a drama. It's Stephen King. Okay. And this is hitting like y'all need to watch it. It's worth getting Max for a month just to watch it. I haven't finished it yet, but Jason Bateman's in it.
Oh, who I love.
I love him too. And it's a situation where everybody's like, he's the little league baseball coach and he couldn't have done this and da-da-da-da-da. But his DNA and fingerprints match, but they have witnesses where he's in another town. Like, it's super crazy. I can't wait to see how it ends. But there's some child molestation that comes into play here. Don't want to spoil it, but it's pretty, if you like suspenseful
and I do
drama that you can't figure out, because I'm bad about trying to predict what's going to happen in a show.
Yeah, that ADHD superpower is seeing 3 things at the beginning of the show and saying, oh,
it's going to be, A, B, or C.
Happens.
It's one of those. You're not going to have that with this, probably.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because the go-to gut feeling I had, they cleared that up instantly. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that good but bad but mixed emotion story.
You are so welcome.
Very mixed emotions about this one. And y'all, Sherri has somebody that was a former DA.
Worked in the DA's
office that we might be able to get on the show. So we're looking forward to that.
Yep. Maybe the next time you hear my voice, I will
that
have
would be awesome.
Somebody with me.
Okay. We are in our very last state of crazy laws.
Okay.
Wyoming.
All right.
Okay. You may not take a picture of a rabbit during the month of June. What the fuck?
What?
June.
What are they trying to avoid rabbit porn?
I don't know. Are they humping a lot in June?
I imagine that's spring for them.
I feel like you shouldn't take them like around Easter time, because that might be the Easter bunny.
Well, Wyoming's still frozen during Easter time. So maybe that is their breeding season, and they're like, they found somebody who had rabbit porn in his cabin one day, and they were like, oh, we got to cut this out.
That's it. Okay.
We're going to nip this.
Just rabbits just humping okay. They're passionate rabbits.
Passionate rabbits.
Okay. Cheyenne citizens may not take showers on Wednesdays.
Okay.
And finally, in Wyoming, it is illegal to tattoo a horse with the intent of making it unrecognizable to its owner.
Okay. That one I get.
That one makes me think of the story you told us recently where the guy was stealing all the livestock.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. The guy who got shot.
I can't think of his name either right now off the top of my head.
No, but the one that the whole town
killed him. Ken.
Yeah, Ken McElroy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have something else.
Okay,
here.
give it to me.
We have a local attorney, and I'm sure everyone wherever you live has that attorney who's got billboards all over town and who's got commercials and little jingles. Well, we have Gordon. Gordon. Get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Get Gordon and get it done. So at his website, I found some weird Louisiana laws.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. Let's see.
Because y'all know we're going to skunk the rest of the country in the weirdness.
We're just fucking, yeah. I haven't read this, so bear with me. I don't even know if it's going to be funny or not. In Louisiana, we're known for 2 animals more than many others, alligators and crawfish. And I would not necessarily call a crawfish an animal, but maybe that's why stealing either can land you in jail for up to 10 years and carry a fine of up to $3,000.
Yeah.
And baby.
You come steal my crawfish when the price is like this?
The prices are high,
Oh. Yeah, it'd probably save some lives, you know?
Yeah.
Because if the fine is steep enough, we might call the law.
That's right.
Instead of handling it ourselves.
So look, remind me when we get off the podcast, I'm going to show you a video, Zachary's seen it, of an alligator that was in my pond on Monday.
Oh, cool.
He's just swimming along. Yeah. But if you're going to try to come steal him, you're going to be fined up to $3,000, jailed for up to 10 years.
Up to 10 years. So I have to ask permission before I take that alligator home.
And process him.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see here. Mardi Gras mandates.
Okay.
It is illegal to throw Mardi Gras beads from a 3rd-story window or at a parade float.
Okay, I can see that.
Now, I've ridden in a parade. You've ridden in a parade. I occasionally have things thrown back at me, and I don't
like it.
It's very it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's very surprising.
I had somebody throw when I was in the St. Patty's Day. I had somebody throw panties at me.
No.
Yeah. Now, they were St. Patty's panties, so I'm assuming they were not worn.
Well, I mean, you didn't sniff them, obviously.
Obviously not. No, that just got flicked back into the road because I was not dealing with that.
There is a prophylactic prohibition in Louisiana for Mardi Gras. Float riders are prohibited from throwing condoms to the crowd, which I think is ridiculous because Mardi Gras is probably the time you need a condom.
The condoms.
Yeah. Okay. It's illegal to wear masks in public in Louisiana except on Mardi Gras. Then, if you're on a float, it's required. You know, when you go to New Orleans and watch the parades, they have masks on. Yeah. Okay, and then this last one. During a Mardi Gras parade, TV reporters are not allowed to throw anything to the crowd. Don't know why. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, I got nothing there.
Yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
I do need to talk about a couple things.
All right, let's do the housekeeping.
Randy over at Louisiana Land Bank emailed me and she just said, I love the show. She is a Patreon member. But thanks, Randy. I appreciate you listening and just giving the feedback on that. Y'all email us. Tell us what you think. Even if it's, you can go eat a bag of dicks. Tell us what you think. And then something that I think I'm going to forward to you, a listener, Cynthia. And Cynthia, I'm sorry if I don't have your name right, but I'm not going to say your last name. I'm going off memory here. She sent us a story idea.
Okay.
I believe she's in Texas. And she said there's not much information on the story. So I immediately thought of you because I know you are the researcher supreme and you might be able to actually
find some.
Yes. So I can forward that email.
And not to mention, I got probably 100 Texas friends, like actual people that I speak to.
Yeah.
And family over there, so they can always
chime in. They might know something.
They may know something. They may know a cop that knows something.
There you go. Yeah. All right. That's it.
Well, this was fun.
It was fun. Thank you so much for doing the story.
You're so welcome.
And y'all, please email us story ideas, anything. I love the show. Whatever you want to email us, email us. And if you want to help support the show, go to Patreon, Patreon/grits. $5, $10, $15 levels. I have been lax, but I think I caught everybody up this week on everything that they needed with the extra episodes and the early releases. So thank y'all for being patient with me. I'm more back at work full time now, so I have less time to dedicate to the podcast, but I still love it and I still want to do it. And Sherri, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's so fun to do something that's just
crime.
Just a little weird.
Zach, thanks for camera switching. He gave me the thumbs up. All right. We love y'all. Tell your mom and them to listen, and we're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.